And now, Mrs. Schaake.
Mr President, Commissioner and colleagues, it's been over a year since the nuclear deal was concluded, but of course it's better late than never to have the European Parliament's opinion as well. Our group welcomes the successful lead by the High Representative Vice President and her team, consisting of mostly females, and the success of EU common diplomacy and international cooperation during times where this is more needed but most rare. I've shared my thoughts on trade and investment and the possibilities that are offered when the deal is implemented. So now let us focus with equal resolve on the many remaining problems in our relationship. Human rights and fundamental freedoms, from high levels of executions, including of minors, to the torture in Iran's notorious prisons. The lack of fair trial for suspects and the general absence of equal rights for women, ethnic and religious minorities, as well as LGBTIs. The list goes on, with the lack of free expression for journalists, academics, artists, people in general, and politicians with critical views. And instead of making the lives of Iranian people better, the regime spends billions on supporting the Assad regime in its cowardice murder and bombardments of innocent people. Focusing on our shared objective to fight Daesh cannot hide the real differences between us. The EU lists the military wing of Hezbollah as a terror group. Iran supports President, excuse me, it's my understanding that I have 2.5 minutes. Am I wrong? Mr President, the EU lists the military wing of Hezbollah as a terror group. Iran supports it. The emphasis on these key topics was lacking in the report, and we found it important to strongly and unequivocally condemn human rights violations and the damaging role the Islamic Republic plays in the region. Now, this is not, Mr Howitt, an attack on the nuclear deal, its implementation, or you personally. It is merely a matter of differences of opinion and priorities, which I think is entirely normal in a democracy. My group calls on Iran to be a part of the solution in the war in Syria and to halt, as we also ask of Saudi Arabia, interference in neighbouring partners, to recognise Israel and stop denying the Holocaust. We should work together where possible based on clear benchmarks, and we need an EU delegation on the ground. Our group sees opportunity to cooperate on environmental protection, where the little of civil society that remains in Iran is bravely pushing for more action. We believe people-to-people contact through exchanges is key, but people must be able to return safely when they have dual nationality to Iran. And people-to-people connections also take place online. Therefore, the emergence of a free and open internet in Iran that is not nationally and centrally monitored and censored is key for young people to also come out of isolation. Mr President, I want to stress that it is time for a real step out of the dark, out of isolation, and that includes free and fair elections. Our group seeks to balance this report and hopes that our key amendments will be adopted, and otherwise, unfortunately, we will not be able to support this resolution. Thank you.
And now, Mrs. Sakorafa.
Thank you. Honourable members, the agreement reached last year have